So, Edwin, this is a topic that I've been wanting to learn a lot more about. This is something that I'm not very familiar with, but I hear in this wonderful world of real estate that you can take money from a 401k account and invest it into real estate. How does somebody go about doing that, or how does that even work?
Let me start by saying that I group accounts into two different categories, okay? And for today's discussion, I'm probably going to use IRA as kind of a general placeholder to describe all accounts. So that could include a Roth 401k, a 401k, a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, right? It could be one of many accounts. So I generally group accounts into two categories. And the first category is what I call a plain vanilla IRA. A plain vanilla IRA is one that most people have, and that's what they're familiar with. And you usually get that from the bank or brokerage that you deal with. And the reason why I call it plain vanilla is because that bank or brokerage who holds the account typically restricts you to investing in marketable securities. So things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and CDs, right? Typical traditional type of assets. Now, by contrast, there's this other type of account or IRA, and I call that a truly self-directed IRA. So what's the difference? With a truly self-directed IRA, you, the client, are in complete control over the account, the investment decisions, the management decisions, everything that goes on in it. And so what that means to you is that you and I are allowed to use that retirement account to invest in anything allowed by the government. So that's the caveat. It just has to be allowed by the government. As long as it's allowed by the government, then you can do it. So you brought up real estate. We process real estate transactions and investments that clients are doing every single day of the business week, right, inside of these accounts. So that's a great example of something that the government allows, but the bank or brokerage won't allow you to do it.
So based on what you shared, it's what I'm understanding is like these buckets, right, that are age-restricted accounts, IRAs of some sort, that there's two types. One is they limit and restrict what you can invest in. The other is truly self-directed. And I guess I'm wondering, why is it advantageous to purchase, let's say, real estate in that particular bucket, in that vehicle? What's the advantage to the investor?
Okay, so there's several, but let me give you three just real quick ones. So benefit number one is that you compound your money exponentially faster and larger because the government does not get a cut of it. Benefit number one, okay? Benefit number two, if you were tried and convicted of a criminal offense, the court could take your life, but they can't take your retirement account. Now that doesn't seem right, but that's the way the rules work, right? So just real fast practical example, when COVID hit and the economy went into shutdown, 2020, right? I'm over 50 now, so I have to remind myself what years these things take place. So I had a client and she was in the Airbnb business. Literally 30 days later, she filed bankruptcy on her business because she couldn't make the mortgage payments, right? She had no income coming in whatsoever. But she had some long-term holds inside of her IRA. So even though the business went away and that, she had to resolve, the properties that were generating income in her retirement account were protected. She didn't lose those. Third benefit is the cheapest estate planning tool you'll ever find. Because all you do is you list beneficiaries on those accounts. And when it comes time, right, those accounts pass directly to the heir or the beneficiary. They bypass probate. The courts don't get involved in the IRAs. The attorneys don't get involved in the IRAs. They don't eat up your wealth or your assets. That goes right where you want it. So three big benefits: taxes, which will allow you to grow your wealth faster and larger than you otherwise could; asset protection, so people can't get their hands on your wealth; and the third thing is estate planning. So the wealth that you're building, you can truly use to rewrite your family legacy.